Hi, everybody. Welcome to the August webinar for Life Design Analysis. My name is Jon Jarvie. I'm the Senior Account Executive at the LDA team, and I'm very happy to include our special guest for this month's webinar. This is Emily Reed from HeyAdvisor. She's the founder and CEO of HeyAdvisor. And today we'll be talking about the process of nurturing an insurance lead. And why this is important is because, let's face it, life insurance, it's just not the same as other insurance transactions that your clientele that's new to life insurance may be used to. It really isn't transactional. We need to cater life insurance to specific life events and needs of the client. And HeyAdvisor is a great tool that can put you in a great position to educate clients on the life events and what life insurance considerations they can make. So Emily, I'll pass it off to you. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about what exactly HeyAdvisor does?
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. So a little bit about me. I've been in the financial industry over 10 years now. I started off at the bank, got my Canadian securities, my CIM, and quickly moved to a high net worth advisory business in Toronto. So I was there for about 8 years as the associate financial advisor. And that team worked with high net worth business owners and really the entire family. And I came in all eager to work with that next generation client, those clients' adult children, and give all this advice. And what I found myself really doing was educating them, giving them financial literacy basics, things that I was actually surprised, being children of high net worth business owners, wasn't something that they just naturally had. So it was a great learning opportunity. I spent a lot of my time educating them. Throughout my time there as well, I worked in an advisor-to-advisor coaching program where we traveled across the country coaching advisors on how to create systematized businesses, leverage technology, and really attract and retain their ideal clients. And the thing I found there, just because I was so used to this high net worth business, they had about 150 clients, client families, and 20 of those client families really made up 80% of their revenue. So they had the time to put me face to face with each of these clients' children and really educate them. And with these other advisors, I found they still wanted to do that, but they just didn't have the resources or the time to really educate along the process. They were just trying to go for it. So that's really where HeyAdvisor came to be. And we create digital content that advisors can leverage to connect with that next generation of client and provide education. Okay, so today I want to talk about a little bit about the why. So why education is key for nurturing leads. The what. So what type of educational content has the most impact? How are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck? And how? So how can you engage your audience and leverage technology to save time? So a little bit about HeyAdvisor and why I'm here today talking about digital content and educating clients. We're a digital content library for Canadian financial professionals. We have white labeled content. So when our advisors sign up for either a yearly or monthly subscription, they upload their logo, their colors, a call to action, contact information, and that goes on every piece of content across the entire library. And then they have access to that all branded in their look and feel. We add new pieces every single month. So we're constantly adding. We have over 100 visual pieces today and are growing that every single month. We have an advisory board that helps us create and vet our content. So we have an insurance specialist who's helped us build out all the life and living benefits pieces that we have today. And we collaborate each month and add more and more every month, which is great. We've partnered with MailChimp. So I'll talk a little bit about email marketing campaigns today. There's a few different softwares you can use. We've partnered with MailChimp and we've created templates for every single piece, making it really easy for advisors to create these learning journeys and make an impact with their prospects. And every piece has email marketing templates, social media captions, making it very easy just to send. You can post directly to social media through our site or send an email directly through, which opens up your mail client. So that's just a little bit about what we do and why I'm here today talking about this specific topic. So let's get right into it. Why is education essential in the insurance advisor's business? Why is this something that you should focus on? Well, I think the first thing advisors love to hear is it's going to save time. So it's going to save you time in the process. You don't have to have those conversations one-to-one all the time explaining a concept. You can really dive in, do what you do best, and provide personalized advice. So leveraging a content source to do that, it saves time. It also saves time in the actual meeting to have meaningful conversations. So you can set the stage, provide some education, and then get face-to-face and have these meaningful conversations, make specific recommendations, and finalize the policy and find what's right for them. It creates engagement. So education is one way to open up the conversation, to get them thinking about what's important to them, have questions. A lot of the time, people don't even know what questions they have until you start providing them with information and education. And then they start to go, okay, how can I see this in my daily life? How would this work? And it creates that back and forth conversation and engagement. And then it creates clarity. So just because a lead comes in, they might not know why they needed life insurance. Someone might have said, yeah, you need life insurance, but they don't really know why. So they're there, they're in your door, and you can give them enough reasons why they can follow through with it. So it creates clarity in the process, eliminating any questions they may have in that sense. So what content educates the most? Let's get into these two examples here. So on the left, I have a very heavily written email piece from an advisor to a client just explaining life insurance, term versus permanent. And then on the right, I have a 2-minute visual video with the exact same thing. So let's get into this actual text-based format here. So this is a lot of what you'll see out there. Definitely emails, advisors are putting together emails that they're just sending out one-on-one, but they're also leveraging articles and blogs, and it's definitely one way to get the education portion out there. Usually when you see a blog or an article, you'll actually notice that parts of it are highlighted or bolded or larger. And that's because the writer knows that the reader's not going to read everything. They're like, they're not actually going to read all this. I just need them to capture these 3 key points and be done with it. And unfortunately, that's not the best way. So unfortunately, a lot of the time they're skimmed, barely digested, and you miss that opportunity to actually educate in the process. On the other side of it, it can be really difficult for advisors to simplify complex issues. Information needs to be simple, easily digested. It's not that clients are naive or not educated, but you will probably know way more about insurance than they ever will. And that's okay. That's what you're there for. So it's really hard for advisors to simplify that down to the key points, and then education just goes right over their head. So here I'll show you, we'll play for you just a simple 2-minute video. It's going to walk you through life insurance and kind of tell a story and paint a picture.
If you ask most people, their family's financial security is one of their top priorities. Yet, many people aren't sure whether or not they need life insurance. A simple way to know if you need life insurance is to answer the question, do you have someone who would suffer if your financial contributions were no longer around? This could be anyone who depends on you, your spouse, your children, disabled family members, or even aging parents. There are several different types of life insurance, but the commonality between all of them is that they pay out cash to your loved ones in the event that you pass away. If the unthinkable were to happen, this can be their financial lifeline. Generally, life insurance falls into 2 categories: term insurance and permanent insurance. Term insurance will provide your family with a tax-free lump sum of money upon death. This is called a death benefit. It provides protection for a specific term. Many people pick a term that matches with a milestone, such as their children graduating from university or a plan to retire at 65. Term insurance is simple, affordable, and can meet your changing needs over time. Permanent insurance also pays a death benefit to your loved ones if you pass away. It provides peace of mind by offering lifelong coverage, provided you continue to pay the recurring policy premiums. As you pay the premiums, it builds value like an investment over time. This can be used in the future for things like a down payment on a house, university tuition, or retirement. It is important to note that doing so will reduce your death benefit. You may be wondering, which is right for me? Term insurance and permanent insurance aren't mutually exclusive. It is a very personal choice, and there are many possible combinations. You should choose insurance that you can afford and that makes the most sense for your family. It is best to speak to your financial advisor to learn more about the life insurance that fits your unique situation. Ultimately, One of the greatest gifts you can leave for your family is financial security.
Now, a lot of our subscriber base has probably seen something very much like this, almost like a this versus that comparison. And I just love this one too, because most people are visual learners. So they cater better to those videos than the numbers and text. And that's the same philosophy that we have with our insurance reports, especially for the new clientele that has insurance needs, that are having children, that are buying houses. They're that technical millennial generation, and they're consuming content via video and on their phones all the time. So we have to consider how we're educating our clients so it's in a way that they can understand, and making things like this can create a great first impression to help proceed and nurture that lead along.
Yeah, that's great. And I love the comparison, the point about it being on the phone, making sure that they can view it really easily on their smartphone, on their device, because that's really where everyone is these days.
Really captures their attention.
So a little bit more about visual learning. That's so important. So when we talk about visual learning, it's really about leveraging videos, infographics, highly visual formats to educate. And the less words, the better. Gets the point across a lot easier to your client and your prospect. Speaking about numbers, I'm a numbers person. I was a financial advisor. Love numbers. So we're going to go over a few numbers here about why visuals are so great. The first one, eyes can process 36,000 visual messages per hour. The sense of a visual scene can be felt in less than 1/10 of a second. 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual, and the brain processes visuals 60,000 times faster than any text. So faster, you can get more information in. I don't see why anyone wouldn't say, yes, visuals, all visuals. And just to hit the point home, when people hear information, they're likely to only remember 10% of it 3 days later. If a relevant picture is paired with the info, they're going to retain 65% 3 days later. So that's huge. I know a lot of advisors say to me, I find myself repeating the same thing over and over again. And it's like, maybe you should change it up. Maybe you should use a visual. I think the information will stick and resonate with your prospects longer. And then another one I like to talk about as well is that a lot of people think, and like I said, I'm analytical. A lot of people think that decisions are made in the left brain, the numbers part. Like you can jot down a bunch of numbers, convince yourself as a concept, and that's where you're going to make the decision. However, decisions are actually made in the right brain. So what's controlled by the right brain? It's the feelings and emotions. It's the memory, the reasoning, the problem solving, the holistic whole picture thinking, and the processing of visual information. So to tap into that right brain using visuals, telling stories, and going to the emotional part of them being a person going through these life events is how they're going to follow through and actually make the decision.
People, they need to feel comfort with their purchasing decision. So the education is a key part to that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into content marketing and talk specifically about that. So what is content marketing? Content marketing is about giving away knowledge and providing education to your audience in the hopes that they will be engaged, reach out to get more information, and ultimately become a client. The advisors that are capitalizing on content marketing are providing small, bite-sized pieces of content that pique their audience interest. It's essential that you be authentic and informative when it comes to content marketing, and not just as a sales pitch, like what's in it for, make it about the client, what's in it for them, and why you're doing it. And so how can you provide tailored content marketing strategies and have the right people find you? Well, I think that's all about that lead generation and then following into an automated email marketing campaign. So email marketing campaigns, there's lots of different softwares out there right now. They're very user-friendly, very easy to use. The ones I see out there the most are MailChimp, ActiveCampaign I see a bit. As I mentioned, we've partnered with MailChimp and we've created templates for that program. But what you can do is you can set up a series of learning journeys, so a series of emails that go out, educational based, that make an impact and provide education to your audience. So the work here is done at the front. It's a one-time, set it up, and then you can use it over and over and over again as you identify people that fall into this. And I think that's great. Leverage your time, leverage technology, and just keep using it over and over again when you identify a new lead that falls into this category. So one thing I said there, and it probably didn't stick out that much, but content marketing is about providing pieces that pique your audience interest. So how do you know your audience is interested in? Well, that's where this life event comes in. So these life event opportunities, these are the ones that we cover at the HeyAdvisor library, but I'll just go through them: aging parents, buying a house, divorce, getting married, having a baby, managing your career, owning a business, planning for retirement, and starting to invest. So these are all the life events. These are a lot of the life events that are covered that clients actually come in because this is the reason that they're looking at life insurance. They're having a baby or getting married. Something sparked in their personal life that's made them come to you. So why not provide education on that and nurture the lead further? So today I want to talk about having a baby. And this is one of my favorite ones because it's usually a time when people actually take action in their lives and purchase life insurance. So let's say a lead comes in, you can identify that they've noted that they're having a baby. So you could simply reach out and say, thanks for filling out a needs assessment and congratulations on having a baby. There are many wealth planning opportunities that will arise as you're welcoming a new child. If that's okay with you, I'd like to send you one piece per week for the next few weeks to help prepare you for these decisions and make sure you're aware of all the possible opportunities that are available. These will be short one-page pieces or videos. And then we can touch base after just to make sure that we discuss the right policy for your unique situation. So I can't imagine a scenario where someone's going to sit there and say like, no, thanks. I don't want to learn anything. I'm good. Don't tell me about the wealth planning opportunities. I know what I need. Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming to you. So you're helping them become more prepared. You're not hard selling. You're not telling them like, this is why you need life insurance. You're educating. And I think that's a much softer conversation. And it creates that bond that allows you to take them to policy. So let's assume here that they said yes. I'm going to walk you through a life event journey. So you're going to go into your email marketing software. You're going to tag them as having a baby. So day one, an email is going to go out automatically, the new parents wealth planning checklist infographic. So it's a one-page piece on just the wealth planning opportunities that a new parent should consider. Talks about getting a will done, talks about getting life insurance, just kind of a soft piece on all the different things that they should do. Day 7, the video that I just showed you, that's going to go out. So it's a 2-minute video, starting to drop in some of those key terms: term versus permanent, death benefit, why other people get life insurance. So it's a great piece to just kind of educate in that sense. Then day 14, life insurance needs over your lifetime infographics is going to automatically go out. And this is a piece that talks about each decade, why people consider getting life insurance, and then what the proceeds could possibly help cover in their lives financially. What are they doing it for? And then day 21, term versus permanent insurance infographic goes out, kind of just summarizing the difference. And then it's done. You've sent those 4 pieces, educational, kind of giving them a few reasons why they should consider it. And then you follow up with questions personally. So you either book a meeting, you follow up, did you have any questions? And it opens up that conversation. So you've set the stage, you've showed them what you do. You show them maybe some services or opportunities that they didn't know that you did. And that's a great way to just kind of warm that lead. So you know when they come in your door, they have that foundational part to kind of take it to the next step. So the great thing with these email marketing campaigns as well is a little bit about your audience. And you can go in, you can actually click on people you've sent it to. You can see if they've opened it, see if they've forwarded it, see what they're really engaging with. You can also see what campaigns you've sent them in the past. So you know, okay, I've sent them the one on having a baby, I've sent them buying a house. It's a great way just to get analytics behind what you're doing. So you're not just doing it to do it. So I think a few key takeaways from what I went over today is, first of all, focus on educating. The sales part, that'll come naturally out. If you position it from an education standpoint, you really are helping them, then that sales part, it's just going to fall out of it. The visuals have the most impact. They have the most impact for engagement, so actually opening up conversations with your prospects, but they also are going to resonate the most and provide the most information. Connect on those life events. Like I said, they've come to you because something has happened in their life to make them wonder, maybe I need to look at life insurance. So talk to them about that. Make sure they understand all the different options that are available to them and really connect on that, because that's what they're going through at that moment. And leverage technology. So leverage technology to save time. And I think in any advisor's business, any time you can delegate anything, you're going to free up capacity. You're going to be doing what you do best. And technology is one of those things that you can delegate out to technology. So today I want to offer everyone that came that life insurance video that I showed you. So it's that 2-minute video. If you go to this website here, HeyAdvisor.ca/LDA, put in your email and your name, then we'll get you set up with a branded piece with your picture, your logo, your colors, and you can start using that in email marketing campaigns. You can post it on social media or send it directly to any prospects or leads that you think might benefit from that video.
Well, Emily, this is awesome. And I feel that any advisor, like the best practices I've seen, they have marketing campaigns to their clients, and a lot of them, it doesn't reach the level of what HeyAdvisor provides. And just to have something that does all that work for you, it's extremely important, because a lot of advisors we talk to, they just don't have a lot of time. And as much as they love to do this education piece, they just simply don't have the resources for it. So HeyAdvisor as a tool could do this for you and provide that crucial education and really help with that client's purchasing decision, because anybody who buys anything nowadays generally likes to do research before it. And this is the way that they can do their research on life insurance before evaluating their insurance options, whether it be automated or with you face to face. So I definitely encourage everybody to take a look at HeyAdvisor and try it out and see what benefits it can provide you in your business.
That's a great point too. A lot of advisors are doing some type of email marketing. And the great thing is you can supplement with our content source as well. So you don't have to change everything you're doing. You could add in some visual pieces, see if it gets more engagement, see if it's creating more conversations, and just kind of change it up. So
yeah, absolutely. And those life events, pairing it to that, I think it makes a key difference. You mentioned having a baby. I couldn't tell you the number of conversations I've had from friends that have had kids recently since COVID, because I'm in the life insurance industry. They know nothing about it, and they just don't have that information accessible to them that helps them understand it the way that they learn, which is through visuals. So providing this to your client base, it'll definitely help with that client communication and with that education piece. It's a really crucial part of the insurance conversation. So now that you've provided your client with the content to educate them on the insurance options, at the end of it, you'll have some kind of call to action. Are they going to contact you? Do you want to provide additional quoting information with life insurance products that go with that life event? And it can really work one of two ways, whether they, let's say, go to your website to get this information, and then you send the email campaigns after to them if they don't proceed with the sale right away, or beforehand, and you can have this be the call to action. But HeyAdvisor and their marketing content really ties in well with the life design analysis lead generation option, or embedded needs analysis tool that connects to your life design analysis account. So what you can do is, once the clients receive this content, let's say if it's based off of a life event, you can direct them to your website instead of maybe a meeting with them if they're not quite ready for that, because there will be some clients in that boat, and they can receive that personalized information for their need and for that life event, and you'll be notified of this information and can follow up with the client as you choose to. So I've shared my screen here, and I'm on the example page for the embedded needs analysis tool. So basically everything you see in the stark white color would be a part of your website. Everything else you see on the background is just the LDA screen. So envision that on your website with your colors, so it matches your branding itself. But when a client comes onto this page, they can start by putting in their information. So I'll use myself as an example, male living in Ontario, I don't smoke. And I'll just say, for example's sake today, that I'm 35 years old. And the reason why I'm looking for life insurance is having a baby. So let's match that life event that Emily mentioned earlier on. From here, I can either say I don't know how much insurance I need, which is going to be the majority of clients that you're working with, or they can state a specific amount of insurance that they do need. So if they're told by their family or friends that they need $500,000, they can do that, but this will be the default. Most will fall under that path. Then the client would put in their information. So first and last name, phone number, as well as email address. And this is sent back to you as well. So you'll be able to see not only who's viewed this case, but have their contact information, especially their email address. So if you want to put them into a marketing campaign afterwards through HeyAdvisor, you have that information readily available. So the next step is when they click next on this page is they'll be brought to the needs analysis page that we provide. And this is more of a client-friendly version. So you'll notice here that some of the tooltips are question marks. They're catered to people that maybe don't have the education on how much to put into these specific sections like education or what to factor into our household debts. But as they start to fill this in, we like to provide the visuals right away of things that are entered in. So you'll see there's my mortgage debt appearing right away. I also have that for income replacement. I could state how many years I'd like my income to be replaced for. Future education costs. This is definitely a topic for having a child will need to put in. So I'll enter in some household debts. I'll also put in, let's see here, I'll put in an education, or excuse me, a final expense cost, and I'll leave the rest blank. They don't have to fill in everything. They can only fill in, if they want to, what they know about, and then proceed with that. And you can always edit it down the road when you're meeting with that client face-to-face or virtually. So when they click next, this is generating an insurance report on the spot for that client based on their information they provided, the insurance need that was calculated, and the reason at why they're looking at life insurance. So for having a baby, there'll be specific product types that are used to factor in that need. So when they click that view report option, it right away provides them with a custom branded report with your name, your client's name, or your lead's name on it that would review the insurance options. And as part of your life design analysis subscription, you can customize what page options you want to appear. So you can make this as in-depth or as brief as you'd like. The needs analysis will appear on the report, and it also has the interactive capability. So the client can toggle options on and off to see current needs and potentially permanent needs that are presented here. So here we can see the life insurance options that were used for having a baby for this client. So in this scenario, it selected RBC insurance because in my account settings, I've selected preferred insurance carriers who I have a contract with. RBC just so happens to provide the most inexpensive rate for my preferred carrier list for this client and for that $500,000 of insurance that was calculated by LDA. Here we can see as time goes on, the difference in cost. So again, using that visual to educate our client that although the term 10 is cheaper today, there will be a guaranteed renewal and it will increase on a yearly basis over that 11 to 20 year period of time compared to the term 20, which is more expensive initially, but less later on. And as we can imagine, looking at the cumulative cost, how much they've spent year over year, we could see that there is a crossover point where the term 10 is more expensive than the term 20. And over that 20-year period of time, no surprise, the term 20 is the more inexpensive option. So although a client, they may see information else where that T10 is cheaper, this helps with that education component to show them that over that time span, it's not the most cost-efficient option. So we break down the insurance options over time based on their client need. And this simple visual, anybody can understand it, whether they're familiar with life insurance or not. These additional pages just summarize again that cumulative cost, adding that up and showing the difference between the two plans and how they save about $9,300 rounding up by buying a T20 compared to buying a T10. There are internal rate of return calculators. Like I mentioned, you can choose to keep these pages or remove them. That's up to you. But the client would receive this report on any device that they use to view your website on, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or a computer. Now, let's go back to the advisor view. All right, so we can see that when I'm in my account, I have 2 notifications. So when I go into my notifications, they'll be informing me that I have a new insurance lead. So right away, I can see that a lead has come in through Life Design Analysis, and I can view that insurance lead to see what was produced by the system for this client. So that will take me to a design case page for this example lead with the information they provided. I can see the insurance need calculated, the products that were used, and I can see the information about how the client viewed this report. So from here, I can then choose how I want to proceed with following up for the client. So I can see there's their phone number here. When I go into their client profile, that's where I'll see more information. So there's their email address that they provided. And this is what I can plug into HeyAdvisor if I want to just send them that curated content, if they don't respond to maybe calls or messages asking if they have questions about that life design analysis report, or if they'd like to review it further. And of course, you have their phone number to follow up that way with them as well. But just going back to the design case page, we can see how long they looked at the report through our case stats, how much interaction was made when that web lead came in. I also get an email right away sent back to my email address saying that a web lead has come in. So if I'm on the road, or if I'm not just in front of my life design analysis account as much as we'd love to be all day, we still get that notification from the system letting you know that the lead has come in. And that's when you can log in and see those additional details. And over time, if you're looking just to see what web leads have come in and maybe track your sales through life design analysis, there's a manage cases section on the homepage. And this is where all the reports either you create or saved, or the reports that are generated through a web lead are saved. So you can see here, this one is labeled as a web lead, and I can always search by that case name later on to see what leads have accumulated in the system. So you can track what business you've written just through that tool, and maybe what clients that you've sent off through to HeyAdvisor. So by doing this, it allows you to have a more of a modern solution, a less time-consuming solution, but one that's probably better for some of the clientele that needs insurance. So they can evaluate their options at their own pace. They can receive that content to learn more if they'd like to through the HeyAdvisor content, or they can proceed with the application right away. But you can use HeyAdvisor in both ways and have something like this as the call to action. Or if you want to take more of the hands-on approach, of course, you can create the insurance presentation yourself once you establish the meeting with the client. So those are 2 great ways that you could leverage the marketing campaigns to generate more insurance business, but also help with that education piece. So one common question I get with these leads that come in through life design analysis is, can I edit the case that was provided as a web lead? And the answer is yes. So let's just go back into that manage cases section where we identified the web leads and select view on that specific web lead case that was generated. This still has all of the LDA case creation features, including our Life Guide integration. And for those of you that are Life Guide subscribers, please contact us to learn more about your exclusive discount you'll receive. But we have those capabilities still built in where I can add in new plans into this case, depending, of course, on the client need and probably that follow-up conversation that you have with the client once they send this information in or receive this insurance case. So let's say we want to add a plan like a min-funded UL. I then have the ability to use our Life Guide integration to survey the insurance market. I can use the same insurance need that was established, or I could also edit the insurance need, and I'll show that in just a second. But when I survey the market, it will still use all that client information because the client did that work, not you. So it's a great way to save some time. So I can choose another plan to add into that insurance case. And the great thing about the web-based case links that come when you share a report to a client is I don't need to generate this report and then share that case again to a client. They can just view that website link that they produced by going through to your website, and they can see the edits that you've made on your end. Or of course, you can present them if you are meeting with them, however you choose to, face-to-face, virtual, and still use that info that the client provided, but but add on top of it any new additional options like I have here with this min-funded UL product. And you can see here it changes the timeline. So if my client's timeline or need has changed, or maybe we want to factor in a permanent need to provide a gift to that child upon our death, something to that extent, we can show them that cost analysis of the different term versus permanent options over time. And speaking about the needs analysis and edits that can happen there, if there were considerations that the client did not make, there is always the option to edit that needs analysis and factor in additional considerations. So maybe the family has a cottage and there will be tax obligations upon death. I can put in that as an insurance need. So I'll just say estate taxes, for example's sake. I'll put in number here. So let's say it's 100,000, and then I could save that here. So we can always make those changes as necessary. And the other side of it too is compliance. A lot of this kind of falls under that compliant component of especially educating clients on insurance options that are available. And the HeyAdvisor content can do a great job at starting that off. We can even include supplemental documentation such as a reason why letter. And this could be your custom template or the one that we provide, and fill in the needs or the blanks based on the needs and the recommendation that's being provided to the client. So there's a lot of ways that you can use life design analysis in that lead generation tool, but I think the perfect pairing for this is by having that marketing content and curating it to your clients in that educational piece. So Emily, remind our subscribers and our viewers how they can reach you again and learn more about HeyAdvisor.
Yeah, so you can reach us on a few different socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I'd say most of the interaction we do with our users is through LinkedIn. It's at HeyAdvisor. And you can always shoot me an email, emily@heyadvisor.ca, and to get into contact.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Emily, for taking the time to educate our users on HeyAdvisor, what it offers. And I'd highly encourage everyone to do this because it really is a great component to add in if you're looking to nurture leads, is by providing these educational pieces. And there's no better source than HeyAdvisor out there. So definitely recommend looking into that.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to be here today with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. And thank you everybody very much for viewing this today. If you just came in at a later time, you can view this later on our YouTube channel. That's where we provide all of our webinar recordings. And feel free to contact myself or any of my colleagues through the Life Design Analysis program or the live chat built into the site. And we look forward to showing you more with the system next month. Thanks, everyone.